My SIL accused me of cheating at my baby's birthday, so I exposed her affairs. I don't know if this makes me the asshole, but I need to get this out. My sister-in-law asked if my baby was really my husband's. At a family dinner. In front of everyone. Because my daughter has red hair. Let me back up. My sister-in-law Claire has hated me since the day I married her brother Tom. I'm talking active hostility, from day one. She'd make little comments at family gatherings, exclude me from conversations, forget to save me a seat at holiday dinners. That kind of thing. For years, I told myself it was just her personality. Tom would always say she was protective of him, that she'd warm up eventually. She never did. When I got pregnant with our daughter Jenna, Claire's behavior got worse. She made passive-aggressive comments about the timing, about whether we were really ready, about how hard babies are on marriages. I ignored it, focused on preparing for our daughter, on being excited about becoming parents. Then Jenna was born. Beautiful, healthy, perfect. With the most gorgeous red hair I'd ever seen. Copper curls that caught the light and made everyone stop and stare. Neither Tom nor I have red hair. I'm brunette, Tom's dirty blonde. But my grandmother had red hair. Genetics are weird like that. It skips generations. Claire started making comments immediately. At the hospital, when she first met Jenna, she said, "Wow, that's some hair color. Where did that come from?" She said it with this tone. This knowing tone. I was exhausted from labor, holding my newborn daughter, and Claire was already planting seeds of doubt. Over the next year, the comments continued. Every family gathering, every time she saw Jenna, Claire would say something. That hair is so interesting. She doesn't really look like Tom, does she? I wonder who she gets her coloring from. Always phrased as innocent observations, but the implication was clear. Tom noticed. He'd get tense whenever Claire brought it up, would change the subject, but he never confronted her directly. He'd tell me later that Claire was just being Claire, that she didn't mean anything by it. But I knew better. I could see it in her eyes every time she looked at Jenna. She was building to something. Last week, we had a family dinner to celebrate Jenna's first birthday. My parents came, Tom's parents, Claire and her husband Mark with their 2 kids, Jake who's 8 and Sarah who's 6. The restaurant was nice, one of those family-friendly places with high chairs and a kids' menu. Jenna was in her high chair, covered in mashed potatoes, laughing and having the time of her life. About halfway through dinner, Claire clinked her glass, like she was making a toast at a wedding. Everyone looked up. Tom's hand found mine under the table and squeezed. He knew. Somehow he knew this was going to be bad. "I have something to say," Claire announced. Her voice was loud, carrying to nearby tables. "As family, I feel it's my duty to address the elephant in the room." Tom's mother said, "Claire, not now." "When then?" Claire shot back. "We're all thinking it." She turned to Tom, her expression serious, concerned, like she was doing him a favor. "Have you considered a paternity test?" The table went silent. I mean dead silent. The kind of silence where you can hear other people's conversations 3 tables away. "Excuse me?" Tom's voice came out quiet. Deadly quiet. Claire leaned forward, warming to her topic. "Red hair, Tom. Neither of you have red hair. And the timing." She smiled. Actually smiled. "Jenna was born exactly 9 months after your Vegas conference. The one where Jennifer stayed home sick. I had been sick. Food poisoning from bad sushi. I'd spent 3 days unable to keep anything down. Tom went to the conference alone, came back early, because he was worried about me." "Are you suggesting?" I started. "I'm just saying what everyone's thinking," Claire interrupted. "That baby doesn't look like Tom. And we all know about Jennifer's college boyfriend. Ryan. The redhead." My stomach dropped. Ryan. I dated him freshman year of college. For 3 months. 12 years ago. He'd been in one photo on my Facebook, a group shot from a party, and Claire had somehow found it, remembered it, and saved it for this exact moment. Tom's mother gasped. "Claire, apologize immediately." "I'm just concerned about my brother," Claire said, her voice dripping with false sympathy. "If Jennifer trapped him with another man's baby." "Enough." Tom slammed his hand on the table, making the silverware jump. But I stayed calm. I'd been preparing for this moment since Claire started her comments 6 months ago. I'd known she was building to something, and I'd done my homework. You're absolutely right, Claire, I said. My voice came out steady, almost pleasant. Paternity matters. In fact, I completely agree that families should verify these things. Claire looked triumphant. So you'll do a test? Sure, I said. Right after you. Her smile faltered. What? I pulled out my phone, unlocked it, and set it on the table. See, when you started making comments about Jenna, I got curious about your kids. Claire's face went pale. What are you talking about? Your son, Jake, I said calmly. He has brown eyes. You have blue eyes. Mark has blue eyes. I looked at Mark, who was staring at me with his mouth slightly open. Two blue-eyed parents can't have a brown-eyed child. Basic genetics. That's not. Genetics are complicated, Claire stammered. They are, I agreed. So I did some digging. Remember your husband's best friend, Daniel? Brown eyes. Spent a lot of time at your house 8 years ago, right around when Jake was conceived. Mark turned to look at Claire. What is she talking about? Nothing, Claire said quickly. She's lying. She's deflecting. Am I? I scrolled through my phone. These are from your Instagram. Public posts. You and Daniel. Lots of cozy photos from that summer. I turned the phone so everyone could see. This one's interesting. You're wearing Mark's college shirt. But he was deployed then. I looked at Claire. Who took this photo? Stop it, Claire hissed. Oh, and Sarah, I continued. Your daughter. She has that adorable cleft chin. Neither you nor Mark have cleft chins. I swiped to another photo. But your personal trainer Josh does. You trained with him a lot 6 years ago, didn't you? Mark stood up so fast his chair fell over. Claire, what the hell? She's making things up, Claire said, but her voice was shaking. She's just trying to deflect from her own. Tom's dad held up his hand. Everyone calmed down. No, I said. I was done being calm. Done being quiet. Claire wanted to discuss paternity at a family dinner. Let's discuss it. I looked at Mark. Did you know Claire had Josh's number saved under pizza delivery in her phone? I found that out from her friend Monica. They had a falling out last year. Monica gets very chatty after wine. Claire was crying now. You investigated me? You accused me of cheating and trapping your brother. I shot back. You've been implying for a year that my daughter isn't his. So yes, I looked into you. Want to know what else I found? Please stop, Claire whispered. Credit card statements, I said. Hotel charges during your book club meetings. The second phone you keep at your office. Mark grabbed his keys off the table. Kids, we're leaving. Mark, wait. 8 years, Mark said. His voice was shaking. 8 years I've been raising another man's son? That's when Tom spoke up. Actually, Mark, that's not true. Everyone turned to look at him. Jake is yours, Tom said. He pulled out his phone. I had a DNA test done months ago, when Claire started this nonsense about Jenna. I figured if she was projecting this hard about infidelity, maybe she had a reason. My mouth fell open. You tested Jake? With Mark's permission, Tom said, looking at his brother-in-law. I called him 3 months ago, told him what Claire was saying about Jenna, told him about the brown eyes, and asked if he'd be willing to do a paternity test, just to be sure. Mark nodded slowly. I did it. Tom's right. Jacasmine, biologically. I stared at Tom, then at Claire. Then why does Jake have brown eyes? Tom showed me his phone, a text exchange with Mark's mother. Because Mark's father has brown eyes. It skipped a generation. I looked at Claire. Her face was white. She was shaking. You thought Jake wasn't Mark's, I said slowly. For 8 years, you believed you were hiding another man's child. Claire's sobbing got louder. Even if Jake's mine, Mark said, his voice hollow. What about Sarah? You want to explain Josh? That's when Tom's mother stood up. She looked pale, shaken. I need to tell you all something about Sarah. The restaurant went silent again. What? Claire and Mark said at the same time. Tom's mother looked at me. Her eyes were wet. Jenny, I'm sorry. I promised never to tell. But your sister. She needs to know the truth. My blood went cold. What about my sister? Rachel is Sarah's biological mother, Tom's mother said. Not Claire. The words didn't make sense. I heard them, but they didn't connect to anything real. Rachel. My sister Rachel. Sarah's mother. Rachel gave birth to Sarah 6 years ago. Tom's mother continued. She was 19. She was struggling. Using drugs. She gave Sarah up for adoption. The restaurant tilted sideways. I grabbed the edge of the table to steady myself. Mark is Sarah's biological father, Tom's mother said. He and Rachel dated briefly, years ago, before he ever met Claire. Rachel got pregnant. She didn't tell Mark. She disappeared, and when she reached out to me for help, I arranged a private adoption. With Claire and Mark. I couldn't breathe. My sister had a baby. My sister had a daughter. And I never knew. Mark's face had gone gray. I didn't know Rachel was pregnant. She wanted it that way, Tom's mother said. She thought you'd be better off not knowing. She was in a bad place, and she didn't want to trap you. Claire was still sobbing. I knew, she choked out. I always knew. I've been terrified for 6 years that someone would figure it out. That you'd all see the resemblance between Sarah and Rachel. That Jennifer would put it together. The hatred. The constant comments about Jenna. It all made sense now. You hated me because you were afraid I'd figure out Sarah was Rachel's, I said. Claire nodded, her whole body shaking. Tom stood up. His face was red, his hands clenched into fists. You've been torturing my wife for a year because of your own guilt. I was scared, Claire sobbed. Tom turned to his mother. And you knew. You knew why Claire was attacking Jennifer, and you said nothing. Tom's mother opened her mouth, but nothing came out. We're leaving, Tom said. He picked up Jenna from her high chair. Come on. I followed him in a daze. My parents were right behind us. As we walked through the restaurant, I could hear Claire's sobs echoing behind us. In the car, I pulled out my phone with shaking hands. Called Rachel. It went to voicemail. I tried again. Voicemail. On the third try, I left a message, my voice high and strange. Rachel, call me. Something happened at dinner. We need to talk. I hung up and stared at my phone. Rachel had a baby. Rachel gave up a baby. Sarah was my niece, and I never knew. That night, I couldn't sleep. Tom and I lay in bed, not talking, both of us staring at the ceiling. My phone rang at 11:30. Rachel's name lit up the screen. What happened? She asked when I answered. You're scaring me. I need to see you, I said. Can we meet tomorrow? For breakfast. Jenny, what's wrong? I can't explain over the phone. Please. Tomorrow morning. The diner near your apartment. 8 a.m. Rachel was quiet for a long moment. Okay. 8 a.m. I didn't sleep at all that night. The next morning, I got to the diner 15 minutes early. Ordered coffee I couldn't drink. Rachel walked in right at 8, looking worried. She slid into the booth across from me. What's going on? I didn't know how to start. So I just told her everything. The dinner. Claire's accusation. My revenge. Tom revealing he'd tested Jake. Then his mother standing up and saying she knew who Sarah's real mother was. Rachel's face went white, then red, then white again. I kept talking. Told her what Tom's mother had said. About the adoption. About Mark being Sarah's father. About Claire knowing the whole time. Rachel put her face in her hands and sobbed. I reached across the table. But I didn't know what to say. What do you say when your sister finds out her 6-year secret just exploded in a public restaurant? When Rachel finally looked up, her face was red and soaked with tears. I've thought about her every single day, she whispered. Every birthday. Every holiday. Every time I see a little girl with dark hair. Why didn't you tell me? I asked. I was ashamed, Rachel said. I was 19, Jenny. I was using. I couldn't take care of myself, let alone a baby. I thought I was doing the right thing. You gave her to Claire and Mark. Rachel nodded. Tom's mother helped arrange it. Claire had just had her second miscarriage. She was desperate to be a mom. It seemed perfect. Have you been watching Sarah? I asked. All these years. Rachel looked down at her coffee. I know Claire's social media passwords. I've been following Sarah's life through photos. Every picture Claire posts, I save. I've watched my daughter grow up through a screen. My heart broke for her. What happens now? Rachel asked. Does Sarah know? I don't think so. Does Mark know she's his? He knows now. Rachel's hands were shaking. I'm not ready for this. I'm not ready to be thrown into her life. I don't think any of us are ready, I said. We stayed at that diner for 4 hours. Talking, crying, trying to figure out what came next. By the time we left, we still didn't have answers. But at least Rachel knew I was on her side. Over the next few weeks, everything changed. Mark moved out, filed for divorce, started seeing a therapist to work through the betrayal. Claire had a complete breakdown, moved in with Tom's parents, started medication. Tom and I went to couples counseling, worked through the damage his family had done to our marriage, set boundaries, real ones. And Rachel started seeing a family therapist who specialized in adoption reunification. She met with Mark to discuss Sarah. They agreed to tell Sarah the truth, slowly, carefully, with professional help. 3 months after that dinner, Sarah met Rachel for the first time. At a park, with Mark and a therapist present. For 30 minutes, Rachel pushed Sarah on the swings while the rest of us watched. Sarah asked questions. Rachel answered carefully. It was fragile and beautiful and heartbreaking all at once. Claire and Rachel eventually met to discuss co-parenting. It was awkward, painful, but necessary. They both loved Sarah, and they both wanted what was best for her. A year later, we had Jenna's second birthday party. Everyone came. Both sides of our complicated family. My parents met Sarah officially, their granddaughter they never knew existed. Claire and Rachel spoke civilly. Mark brought his new girlfriend. I watched Jenna and Sarah play together, these two little cousins connected by secrets that tore us apart and somehow brought us closer. Tom held my hand. "We're going to be okay," he said. I believed him. Claire sent me a card on Jenna's birthday. An apology. She didn't ask for forgiveness, just said she was sorry. I kept it in a drawer. I wasn't ready to respond yet, but I didn't throw it away either. Progress. Rachel calls me every week now. Tells me about her visits with Sarah. About how Sarah wants to call her Mama Rachel to distinguish her from Mom Claire. About how she's learning to forgive herself for giving up her daughter all those years ago. Last week, Tom told me Claire's been attending a support group for mothers dealing with adoption issues. That she's finally getting help for the guilt and fear that twisted her into someone cruel. I'm not ready to forgive her. Maybe I never will be. But I understand her now. And that's something. A full year after that explosive dinner, I realized the truth had to come out. Secrets were poisoning all of us. Rachel deserved to know her daughter. Sarah deserved to know her full story. Mark deserved honesty. Even Claire deserved to be free from the guilt that was destroying her. Tom and I are stronger now. Our boundaries are firm. Our family is complicated, messy, but it's ours. Jenna's growing up surrounded by people who love her, including her cousin Sarah, who shares her red-haired gene from their grandmother. Some nights, I sit on the porch and think about that dinner. About Claire's face when I started listing her affairs. About Tom's mother revealing Rachel's secret. About the moment everything shattered and reformed into something new. I don't regret what I did. Claire attacked my daughter, questioned my faithfulness, tried to humiliate me in front of my family. I defended myself with the only weapon I had, the truth. The consequences weren't what I expected. I'd wanted to hurt Claire, to make her feel the shame she'd tried to put on me. Instead, I freed an entire family from years of lies. Rachel got her daughter back. Sarah got to know her biological mother. Mark escaped a marriage built on deception. Claire finally got help for issues she'd been hiding for years. And me? I learned that sometimes the truth hurts everyone before it heals anyone. That families are complicated, messy, and worth fighting for. That my daughter will grow up in a world where secrets don't have power anymore. Last week, Sarah had a sleepover at Rachel's apartment. She painted nails with her Mama Rachel, made pizza, watched movies. When Mark picked her up the next morning, Sarah was carrying a photo album Rachel had made, pictures of Rachel as a child, pictures that showed where Sarah's dark hair and cleft chin came from. Sarah hugged Rachel goodbye and asked when they could do it again. I watched from my car, tears in my eyes. This strange new reality where my sister mothers the daughter she gave up, where my husband's family is learning to coexist despite betrayal, where my daughter plays with her cousin while their mothers navigate impossible truths. It's not perfect. It's not simple. But it's honest. And that's worth more than I ever knew.
Catch you again soon.